So the second formula is known as Pancha Adhikaran, like Vishaya, subject, Samshaya, doubt. Purva Paksha, that is against the subject, Uttar Paksha, for the subject, and the Nigman or conclusion. The third one is more or less similar, slight difference in the presentation style. That is, first the hetu, first Vishayas, hetu, then Drishtant, that is example, that is Drashtant. You have to prove, use example on the basis of the theory which you want to prove. Then comes a conclusion. On any step, if the process of thinking and reasoning is defeated, the oath or the subject in the previous formula defeats and you are defeated. But like this, we can judge the authenticity of any of the Vedic mantras or shrutis or shlokas, which is doubtful in nature. For example, there is one line in which the priest says that the clothes meant for in the Homa is for him only. So according to these three formulas, it was proved that no, it is proving the greediness, and it doesn't sound that it is a part of our Vedic literature. Well, these ones were used by Adi Shankaracharya, Acharya Bhadrana Saraswati, and others. Especially in the case of, we see the Adi Shankaracharya, when he wrote the commentaries on Upanishads, he used them very nicely. So one thing is clear, that on the basis of these formulas, we can judge any shruti which is doubtful in its meaning. Because if you see the Vedic literature, a single shruti has got different meanings and different dimensions. Different acharyas, different scholars have presented them in different styles. A common man stays in a position, confused position, where to go, how to proceed. Actually, these formulas are meant for everybody. Now, question may arise, then if all these things are there, then why a common man is afraid or is a bit far away from the contents of the Vedic literature? See, from the medieval times, Sanskrit didn't remain the medium of education. And a class developed which promoted the idea that Sanskrit is not meant for females and for people coming from the lower caste. So the main thing remained hidden. They wrote their own scriptures and promoted them in the Vedic literature. Nobody was there to ask their authenticity because they didn't know books were in Sanskrit. They started explaining the meaning as they liked. For example, there is a Shanti mantra or Swasti Vachan in our Vedic literature which says, Om Bhadram Karane Vishnuyam. Now, Bhadram Karane Bhi. Now, Karane Bhi means to listen, but it was used in the ceremony of ears piercing ceremony. It's totally ridiculous. Just like Karne Bhi, Karn means ear, but actually the whole mantra deals with just listen the good things. Bhadram Karne Vishnuyam Devaha. It's a long Shruti mantra. There's another side. Just we look on the word Karne Bhi. So it was manipulated in that style. Like I'll take one example from Bhagavad Gita also. Chaturvarnyam maya sarshtam guna karma vibhagasha. This universe was created in Chaturvarnyam maya sarshtam. Just see the word srishtam. Now the srishtam word should go with Chaturvarnam. But since I am an orthodox and I want to prove something else to suit my own ideology, what I'll do, I'll take the srishtam word towards guna karma vibhagasha and just I'll try to manipulate just no system. If it suits, then no, I will take with the first part, Chaturvarna Maya system. I created the four varnas. But the meaning of the line is the four varnas were created on the basis of guna karma. But what the manipulation was done? Four varnas were created by me, and they were divided on the basis of guna karma. The line is one, the meaning is one. Meaning differs. It happens when you don't know the Sanskrit or you don't know how to match with other scriptures. Now, if you fight on this issue, no, our meaning is correct. Okay, no problem. Let us see the requirements and the total need of Bhagavad Gita, which is a part and parcel of Mahabharata, which is again a small piece of our Vedic literature. All the contents of the Vedic literature should match with each other. Like Sanasujatiya Parva, which is of Mahabharata, in which Adi Shankaracharya states that the person who knows Veda is only the Brahmana. He didn't promote the idea of by birth. Now the present Shankaracharya is sitting on his seat. They are promoting the idea of by birth. That is something else. But just see, if you just promote the idea by birth, it doesn't matches with the requirements of our Vedic literature. So one must be very clear on this aspect. Then realize the problem. The problem was in the education system, these books, the old scriptures, doesn't find any place. Well, before independence, okay, it was a British policy. Before that, we had the policy of Mughal emperors. The different dynasties ruled over us. But after independence also, the same thing is being carried. The old scriptures, which totally deals with improving our lifestyle, our mentality, our behavior, our relationships with human beings and nature and different forms of living beings, they were rejected. Slowly and slowly, they were rejected. You must be familiar with the fact that though Ayurveda and this yoga becomes our part, but once they were promoted by the Westerners, we started jumping. Hundreds of companies came into existence. Where were they before that? So the thing is that anything which is in our scriptures is not bad, but the mentality of a major portion of our population has been developed in such a way that we think that, oh, Veda means a particular kind of seat, a particular kind of ritual, attire, dress, and they're all orthodox and they are useless. No way. No way. Still, we have got many things, many formulas which remain to be decoded in our Vedic literature. It deals with the different branches of knowledge. They're very useful in the modern scenario. They must be taken. They must be used for the living being. We take an example of our yoga philosophy. In a codified manner, it says something about the so-called sadhanas. After doing them, you get a particular kind of power. That powers were used and they were known as, the persons were known as deities in our Vedic literature. They got the particular seat. Like for example, you go for higher education, you become a specialized doctor or specialized engineer or specialized architecture. A general architecture maybe have got a knowledge of different projects, but a specialized architecture only for, say, hospitals, or only for hotels, or only for worshipping places, or only for schools. Like eye physicians, they have got specialists for retina, specialists for cornea, specialists for eyelashes. So different kinds of specialization is there. How it all happened? It happened due to the determination and devotion towards the subject concerned. Now recently, a news was published in a magazine. It is that a hospital was found while digging the ground in Chhattisgarh, which showed that there was an OPD department and there were some seat beds meant for the patients. Now just imagine, the only example normally we had was related with the Harappan civilization. But the recent example is much after that. So things are coming out slowly and slowly. It's not that we are talking just to promote our specialized our, say, own culture or own ideology on the total planet. No, nobody can do that. Nobody can do that. Because it won't last. It will be proved wrong when the judgment comes. Apply the technique. Let you take the example of Dwarka. Went into see the total area. Now, recently, few years back also, picture was there in the magazine of national repute that the style and technique of architecture of Dwarka, which is mentioned in the old scriptures, and the things which are being at the bed of the ocean resembles the same thing. If the imaginary project was prepared and it coincided with the scriptures, so things were there. Now, exaggeration and cooking stories, see, that is another issue. We love to do that. We have done PhD in that field only. But that doesn't mean that our Vedic literature is totally useless or totally bogus and it has got nothing to do with the present civilization, or we can't promote any good thing, or we can't use them to improve our living. No, it is not like that. Everybody can use them. Now, instead of fighting that something was before Veda, see, the word Veda, as said earlier, is not confined to any particular religion, caste, or race, or region. No. Veda means knowledge. It's permanent. There are some rules which are fixed, some are changeable. Now, what happened from the medieval times itself, or just before that also, you can take the starting point, say, from Puranic age. Slowly, the mentally developed. The changeable rules were declared as unchangeable and fixed. Normally, the scriptures are Dharmashastra, which were written according to the circumstances and the atmosphere prevailed in particular age and particular period of time. They were always changeable, but they were promoted as unchangeable and fixed. See, it resulted in the disaster in our Indian social structure. Lots of caste, subcastes, and divisions developed, and different kind of chaos, which was not supposed to be, say, created or promoted, was done nicely in India. But it's not the case. If you read the scriptures or if you read the commentaries of renowned scholars, like as far as I remember, one from northern India, Swami Akshay Maharaj, in his commentary on Mandukya Karika, he also clearly says that Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra were not by birth. Not by birth. Now, there was one scholar known as Pandit Madhusudan Ojha. He was a royal priest of the Jaipur royal family. In his literature also we find a kind of research work done on these words. He has proven that there were 4 different kinds of scientists who used to research on 4 different kinds of energy forms. Now, those things were stopped there only. They were not promoted by anybody. Neither the supporters of Vedas promoted them, nor the people or the caste opposing the Vedic literature promoted them. So, you took a weapon, one side took a weapon to crush others in the name of Veda. The other side took Vedas only to take the revenge. See, just by burning the copies of Vedic literature, or just by saying bad words or writing the literature, you won't prove yourself. It's just like a child who is unable to fight with his elder brother or sister, spits or says bad words. It's just like that. It depends on you. What do you want? Yatha ichchati tatha kuru, as said in Bhagavad Gita. After describing the total thing to Arjuna, Krishna said that, okay, you can do as you like. Yatha ichchati tatha kuru. The Vedas says the same thing. They don't allow you, they don't say that, no, you have to do this thing. They don't allow you to do as you like in the name of the Vedas. No. But as said earlier, the definition of Vedic literature itself is being minimized, and the contents of our Veda is not the result of a broad-minded view. It's also curtailed, it's minimized, it's quenched. No. By this mentality, what are you proving? That Veda means a particular race, a particular region, particular religion, a particular community, or a particular period of time? No, not at all. See, that is why, if you see, they are labeled as aparushya. That is, Veda is not the product of any human being. It's quite true. It's quite true. If we take a knowledge as it becomes aparushya. So when a scholar doesn't understand these words, they start laughing. Oh, Hinduism are promoting their Vedic literature, their Vedas. Vedas mean something else. Not at all. You should be quite clear when you are saying something, when you're proving something. It's easy to shout, but please give your comments, give your theory in writing. Keep your paper on the table. It will be discussed, it will be judged. See, once upon a time, this thing was quite developed in Kashi and different parts of the country. Logical, analytical discussions were done by different groups. But now, in the name of discussions, people love to fight with them, throw stones on them. And that process of discussion has already, say, the backside. It's not been promoted now. So after all, but the scene is not so negative. Still, there are some scholars doing work in remote areas in India, and especially abroad. Surprised to know that the people living in the Western countries, they are more eager to know about our Vedic science, Vedic literature, rather than we should promote our own thing. So one must be very clear about that Vedas and Vedic literature. It's very useful. It's a useful thing given by the Almighty. You should use it for this. To transfer yourself from the barbaric level to the human level. Well, it can be done. It will be a great service to the Lord, the universe, and the human race.